very important. We had a debate in the House of Lords yesterday after the Prime Minister's statement. It's very clear now the Prime Minister says she cannot bring her deal to the House of Commons because she knows she'll lose for a third time. And she then said, well, we will let Parliament have a go, but I may not even listen to it. So Parliament did yesterday take control. The House of Commons, it's historic, has actually said, we want to now have a chance of looking at all the other options that the Prime Minister is not allowing us to look at. Because her approach has been, it's my way or the highway. It's my deal or no deal. And people are saying, well, actually, there are other options. There are other options, for example, like the Norway EEA-EFTA option. There are options of just the customs union. There are options like the Canada Plus arrangement. There are lots of options that Parliament should consider and have not been allowed to consider. And Europe would be very happy for us to consider those options. And there is also the ultimate option, which would be to revoke Article 50, which we have the right to do, and put it to the people in a second referendum. Now, that more and more it's looking like, just today we've heard that only 6% of people think the government is doing a good job. That means 95% of people, 94% of people think the government's doing a bad job of negotiating. And right now the polls say 55% of people, if given a chance, would choose to remain in the European Union. These are the facts today, not a referendum that is 3 years out of date that is being forced upon us.
Now, the Prime Minister very clear in expressing her reservations about the process we could see tomorrow night, so-called indicative votes, whereby Parliament indicates which options it might like to pursue when it comes to Brexit. One of the people who's been a driving force in the parliamentary control of this process, Yvette Cooper, she asked the Prime Minister if an option was selected, if an option won a majority in Parliament that was not an option the Prime Minister liked, would the Prime Minister be willing to pursue it? And we really didn't get an answer from Theresa May. These are not legally binding votes. Why does this matter? Why is there any onus, do you think, on the government to follow what Parliament requests?
Well, that's exactly the problem. In her statement, she very clearly said, on the one hand, I appreciate that Parliament will not accept a no deal, although technically no deal is still on the table, and so she's technically leaving it open instead of saying openly it's not an option, because Parliament will not accept it. And if necessary, I think if Parliament were forced to it in a train crash scenario, they would invoke revoking Article 50 rather than crashing out with a no deal and then putting it to the people. But when it comes to indicative votes, to actually have the gall to say, I don't care what you say as Parliament, I don't need to listen to you. This is what is the heart of this. Our whole democratic system, our democracy is being threatened by Brexit. The whole concept of representative democracy. Do you know in the House of Commons at the time of the referendum, 75% of MPs thought the best thing would be to remain. Over 80% of my House in the House of Lords thought it would be the best thing to remain. And now they're like lemmings, with a few exceptions, like the brave ministers yesterday, 3 of them, who gave up their jobs and said, I will do the right thing as a representative Democrat, not a delegate, not a lemming. And now the bravery of Parliament will come to the fore, where they will say, this is what we think is the best thing, not in the interest of the Conservative Party, not in the interest of any party, but in the interests of the country. And that is what this is going to hopefully lead to, coming to a sensible decision, which could be coalescing around a Norway-type option. I won an amendment with 3 other colleagues in the House of Lords last year, where the Norway option is the least worst option. But by far the best option would be for have a long extension and then go in and have a second referendum, a people's vote, put it back to the people and say, are you sure you want to leave now that you know 3 years later how difficult this is? And actually on every economic count, it's by far better to remain in the European Union for citizens, for business, for the economy.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.